This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather Ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday bullet. And the birthday boy for today, May the 20th, is a African African soccer legend, if you will. He played for Cameroon for 3 World Cups and was basically known for his star power. The strange thing is, he started having international stardom by the age of 38 in 1990, where a lot of people have retired. And, that's close to my age. He was a hero for the 1990 Cameroon team in the World Cup. And in 94, at the age of 42, somehow, in some way, he was back playing for Cameroon and is the oldest goal scorer in World Cup history. What he did in 94. He was known for his panache and dared to celebrate goals by running to the corner flag and doing the dance on it. He's practically the greatest African player of the past 50 years and probably, you know, the best African player around. But, Asamoah Gyan, Mo Salah, lots of people have had some great careers since he's left. His name is Roger Milla. He was born May 20th, 1952 in Yaoundé, Cameroon. I apologize if I mispronounce it. He's 72 years old today. His birth certificate actually has his name as Roger Miller instead of Milla, but his parents wanted to give him the surname of Milla by the time he was born. But nevertheless, he would travel around through Cameroon because his father worked on the railroads. All that. He had a middle class family, and his parents could provide him with a satisfactory education and all that. They were reluctant to have their son play soccer, but he learned the art of playing soccer by playing barefoot with fellow kids on dirt streets and roads, playing with an orange or a tin can as an alternate option for a ball. Cameroon did not really have stuff for soccer and all that, so anyway, it was huge and all that. A lot of people said Milla played football just for leisure and entertainment, all that. So anyway, he would play in the early years. He went to the massive club Tournai Yaoundé in 1974, 4 years after his stint with another Cameroon squad. He won the African Cup Winners' Cup with that club and scored 69 goals in 87 games. At the age of 25, he moved to France and played 12 years of his club career playing for various clubs. Valenciennes in France lured him to it. In 2 seasons, he would score 6 goals. Then he would join Monaco in 1979, helping them win the 1980 French Cup. Then he went to Bastia for 4 seasons and helped them win the 1981 French Cup. Then went to St. Antonin in 1984 and helped them out. St. Antonin had dropped to Division Two because of a bribery scandal, but would move back up to the main division. He helped his team make it to the first division. Then he went to Montpellier from 86 to 89 and all that, helping Montpellier get to Division One. Milla would then head to the island of Reunion to play for a club, St. Pyrenees. Then he went back to Cameroon for 4 years with Tonnerre, and he would play in Indonesia after the 94 World Cup, retiring by 96. He did well for Indonesia. However, it's his international career that he's well known for. He would score 77 goals for Cameroon. Cap 77 times with 43 goals. He made his World Cup debut in 1982 when Cameroon made their first ever World Cup appearance. With the way that the African clubs had played by 78, they got another spot. But anyway, in 82, they had to beat Morocco to get to qualification for the African zone. So anyway, he thought he scored against Peru in their first match, but they fell. But it was disallowed and all that. So that was just bad luck. What was worse for Cameroon is they tied 3 times. So Poland, Italy, and Peru are in their groups. They ended up tied with Italy for second, but Italy moved on. Despite the fact that Italy had the same goal differential, and there was only one winner. Poland beat Peru. Every other game was a tie. But because Italy had scored 2 goals and Cameroon only scored once, Italy moved on to the next round instead of Cameroon. He was part of the '84 team at the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. He helped Cameroon win the 1984 African Cup of Nations over Nigeria to get their first ever title. Cameroon lost the '86 African Nations Cup to Egypt, but he was still the best player and all that, and helped Cameroon bounce back to win the 1988 African Cup of Nations. And in 1988, at the age of 36, he celebrated his early retirement with a jubilee in Cameroon. He was good for Cameroon football. However, in 1990, the president of Cameroon himself pleaded with him to come out of international retirement and join the national team. So he agreed and went to Italy to help the 1990 Cameroon teams. He would cause a sensation. So anyway, it was a lot of things. A lot of his teammates did not want him on the team and all that. Unfortunately, though, the Cameroon president signed a decree returning him to the national side. Yeah, a lot of people wanted Milla to come back to Cameroon because they had suffered a massive shock to Gambia in the 1990 Cup of Nations. So anyhow, Milla would start every game of the World Cup in 1990 on the bench. He would be practically coming out for the second half and all that. However, he scored 2 key goals against Romania, which helped Cameroon move on and all that. Anyway, yeah, Roger Milla knew what he would do, especially when Cameroon upset Argentina in the opening game of the World Cup 1-0. At 38, he would be the oldest outfield player in the World Cup, the oldest non-goalie. England's Peter Shilton was older. I'm surprised that England would use Peter Shilton. Regardless, he was a major star despite the fact he was only 38. His popular goal celebration would be huge and all that. So he scored twice against Romania. And then in the knockout stages against Colombia, he would score 2 goals, including a gift goal as Colombian goalie Rene Higuita decided to try to play up past the 6-yard box. Unfortunately, though, he gave up the ball and Roger Milla scored, putting Colombia out of the World Cup and giving Cameroon a chance to the quarterfinals. All that. Roger Milla would actually enter into the second half of the quarterfinal match against England and won a penalty and scored it. No, sorry, he did. I don't think he scored it. I think someone else did. And then he actually set up a key for the goal that gave Cameroon the 2-1 lead and a chance to be the first African team to make the semifinals. Unfortunately, Gary Lineker won 2 penalties, a little bit controversially, some people say, and made it 3-2 for England in extra time. Cameroon could not be ashamed of themselves. They did pretty well. And it wasn't until 2022 when Morocco did it that an African team made the semifinals. He was known for it. Strangely enough, he would still play for Cameroon in the '94 World Cup at age 42. He would become the oldest player to appear in the World Cup, but that was actually broken by Colombia's goalie Mondragon at age 43 when he played against Japan. Cameroon were knocked out in the group stages. And of course, one of their group stage matches was against Russia, in which Oleg Salenko put up not 1, not 2, but 5 goals to crush Cameroon and put them out of the World Cup. Despite all that, everyone will remember that game, the Russia-Cameroon game, for the fact that Roger Milla scored against Russia, becoming the oldest goal scorer in a World Cup tournament. And it still is to this day. So he's an ambassador for African causes, which makes sense. He actually was a coach for Montpellier for 7 years and became manager of the Tonnerre Cameroon squad and all that. He was the honorary president of the Cameroonian Football Federation in 2008. Unfortunately, he was removed because he criticized the top officials of the federation for banning Samuel Eto'o. Well, anyway, he did what he could see and all that. The king of the corner flag because of the corner flag celebration. So a lot of people liked him and all that. So anyway, in his career, club career with a couple of Cameroon squads, Valenciennes, Monaco, Bastia, Saint Antoine, Montpellier in the French division, and then went back to Cameroon. He scored 438 goals in 794 appearances, helping Leopards win 3 Cameroon Premier Divisions. Tonnerre Junior win the African Cup, Winners' Cup in 75. Monaco winning the French Cup in 1980. Bastia the French Cup in 81. Montpellier winning Division 2 in 87 to move up to Division 1. African Cup of Nations twice with Cameroon, and just being fantastic and all that. So yes, so Roger Milla did his job, and he made African football cool. Anyhow, I'm Jeff. I'm gonna do